So my wife, 29, and I, 30 female, have been together since we met in college about 8 years ago. My family has been lucky as we won a pretty significant amount in a lottery 10 years ago, but we still worked and lived like we did before we hit the jackpot. My parents have always told me that I wouldn't be able to access the bank account with my share of my money until I'm 35 and have a stable job because they don't want me to spend it all on impulse. They want me to be financially secure for my future family. However, if I needed the money to buy a small apartment or a car, I would get the exact amount for it. For her 25th birthday, at that point we were dating for 3.5 years, I gifted her the amount that she had left to pay off her debt because I pleaded to my parents to let me help her out and didn't want her to be worried about it. She was thankful, but I could see she wondered where I got the money from. I worked as a barista during college and it didn't pay that much, so she definitely felt confused, but was still grateful nonetheless. We bought our first house and apartment in the city because it was closer to our jobs. She's a teacher and I'm a lawyer. During our wedding, I talked with her brother, and he was talking about how lucky we were to afford an amazing wedding like this because he still needed a small amount of cash for his wedding. The next day, I talked with my parents about taking out another couple thousand, and they agreed, so while my wife's family was still in town, I spoke with her brother in private and handed him the money. He was ecstatic and kept thanking me. 4 months ago, my parents invited us back to my hometown to spend some time with my distant relatives, and we both agreed to go. Unfortunately, my wife's face dropped once we got to my parents' house. I had no idea why. She barely spoke to me during our family dinner, and I was freaking out because I genuinely didn't know what I did to make her this annoyed at me. We went to our bedroom, and after I closed the door, it was like a volcano erupted. She started shouting at me and talking about how I never told her about the fact that I was wealthy and why did we buy everything together when I could have bought it on my own. I was taken back a little, but I explained that I couldn't access my bank account with the money until I was 35 and that we were living very comfortably because of our careers, so we didn't even need the money. She proceeded to throw insults at me, and I wasn't too bothered by it. What was the last straw for me was when she said, "Why couldn't you pay for my brother's wedding with your money?" Of course, it wasn't my responsibility, but I did gift him a solid amount for the wedding, so hearing this was upsetting for me. After the whole event, she wants to file for divorce because I will get half of your share that way if you refuse to use it. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Holy cow, she's literally threatening divorce to make money. I hate to be that guy, but the second you get that in writing, I just go along until you can present it to a mediator. You've done nothing but help her with money you had to beg to access early, and she's angry you're not bankrolling her entire life alone. Consult a lawyer immediately. Money has blinded her. You don't want stuff to end badly for you. Money has always blinded her. She's just showing her true colors. OP, she's willing to divorce you, sever whatever emotional ties you may have, just to get a share of that money. This is more than solid proof that she loves the money more than she loves you. It hurts, but once she's shown you who she is, believe her. Get yourself a good lawyer. Now that she knows about your money, she might resort to outrageous means to get her hands on it. She's not upset about you hiding the money. She's upset she couldn't be spending it. A normal person might be surprised or a little irritated that you didn't share all of your financial information, but your wife has made it extremely clear to you that she values your future money over the emotional connection between the two of you. Consider this clarity a parting gift. If I were in the wife's position, I might feel deceived or lied to. Even if OP had a good reason, that's a pretty significant thing to hide from a spouse. I would understand if that's what bothered her, but she made it entirely about the money. She made demands and threatened to file for divorce. That's not a healthy reaction. The wife definitely showed her true colors. My best friend, 23 male, and I, 26 male, have known each other for 4 years and his younger brother for roughly the same time. This past Sunday, his brother celebrated his nearly adult birthday by throwing a party to which I was invited as well. He's a feminine gay boy, and his family doesn't appreciate that at all, but they're trying to seem supportive around him. A few weeks ago, while I was hanging over at their house, he complained about the fact that he'd never received flowers from a man before, and it was one of his dreams to have that happen. I like him, so I kept this in mind. My best friend told me later on to not buy him any gifts that are typically meant for women, as to not encourage his behavior. I ignored him because I thought he couldn't be that serious. I ended up getting the little brother the nicest flower bouquet I could find, some Swiss chocolate and a gold bracelet. marketed for women because I've never seen him wear typical men's jewelry. When I gave him the gifts, he almost started crying tears of happiness. He thanked me, hugged me and kissed me on the cheek in front of everyone. He immediately put on the bracelet and hasn't taken it off ever since. I was so happy with myself. After the party ended, I met up with my best friend the next day. He told me that he was furious at me for not doing what he said and that I embarrassed him by basically courting my little brother as a woman in front of all the guests. He said that I'm making his brother feel that his behavior is okay when it's not. I told him that all that matters is that he really loved what I got him and he's just being a close-minded idiot. He said that I was exaggerating and I should stop being like this. Not the idiot. The birthday boy expressed a certain wish for his birthday gift. You made the birthday boy's day, week, and maybe even year. When it's your birthday, you get to ask what you want. Others don't dictate it. His family might not like how he behaves. That's their problem. He's not harming anyone. Maybe their fragile ego only, but that's their problem. Everyone's the idiot here. The brother family needs to let the boy be who he is, but the brother is right. You bought the boy romantic gifts, and that's creepy as heck, considering he's a teen and you're 26. He could misinterpret that. I'd say not the idiot, but I'm glad I'm not the only one who found the gifts over the top. I think OP's heart was in the right place, but the brother is right when he said it was like OP was courting the little brother. I wonder if OP didn't fully know what a feminine gift would be and just got him something that OP would buy a girlfriend. Anyway, the poor kid's family is straight trash though. I don't know why people assume flowers are a romantic gift. I can totally give flowers to my friend and it not be a problem. Clearly, your gifts meant a lot to him because he saw what he actually wanted. So ignore his brother and the family. Be a support for him because it sounds like he doesn't get much. I, 35 female, have been married to 33 male Chris for a little over a year. I have a daughter, young teen, that we'll call Emma. He has a daughter, tween, that we'll call Carly. Emma's father was an alcoholic who died when she was little. We were not together for the last few months of his life and Emma didn't see him. She has some fairly serious grief because of this. Chris and Carly were already parts of her life at this point, but we were just casually dating. Unfortunately, Chris and Emma have never had a great relationship due to the timing of him coming into her life. We've stopped trying to get them closer, and Chris is generally forbidden from ordering Emma to do things, as it just leads to an argument. Neither Chris nor I come from great means and have agreed not to get our children expensive things unless we can guarantee that they will get something equal in value. My mother got Emma a necklace, pendant, for Christmas, which was very expensive. I did know about it and Chris knew about it too. We agreed it was fair for Emma to get it given the significance. The pendant is shaped like a heart and has her father's face printed onto the metal. She wears it almost all of the time, usually on top of her clothes. There was no issue with it until Carly felt it wasn't fair that Emma had got an expensive and pretty necklace for Christmas and she hadn't got anything similar. I did feel bad, but explained that this meant a lot to Emma and it hadn't been her father that had bought it or me. It didn't make her happier and she threw a tantrum about how it wasn't fair, which led to Chris asking me if Emma could just wear the necklace under her clothes instead, so Carly wouldn't see it. I did ask Emma and she said that she wouldn't as she liked being able to look at it whenever she wanted, and that Carly would get over it, and that she wasn't going to hide her dad just because Carly was annoyed. I felt upset about this, but I wasn't going to force her to hide it if she didn't want to. Chris didn't take it well though, saying that I wasn't thinking of his daughter and how she hadn't got anything that nice for Christmas, and that it wasn't fair on Carly to have to see Emma wearing it every day. I told them both that I couldn't and wouldn't make Emma hide it, and since then Carly has been giving me the silent treatment, while Chris has just really been scowly and keeps pressing the issue. I do feel like a bit of an idiot, but I honestly think that my daughter shouldn't have to hide something that's dear to her if she doesn't want to. In the same respect, Carly didn't get anything that expensive or nice for Christmas, so I understand her jealousy. This leads to the question, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Carly does have something nice for Christmas that Emma doesn't, her dad. This is an excellent opportunity for him to teach his daughter some empathy. It's not like Emma was gifted an expensive diamond necklace while Carly didn't get anything. It was a gift made in memory of Emma's dad while Carl's dad is still living, breathing, and going to see all the adult milestones that Emma can never share with her father. Dude, why put your kids in these situations? Imagine marrying someone who doesn't love your kid as you do. Why? Not the idiot, but still. People put their kids in awful situations because they care more about their own happiness than the kids. Carly is still quite young, her jealousy is childish, but she is literally a child and needs to be guided. On the other hand, your husband is an adult and could have some sympathy for Emma instead of blaming her. Don't make her hide anything to make anyone feel better. I, 48 female, married my husband 66 23 years ago. Yes, there was a large age gap. He had a wife and children and he left her for me. There were problems in that marriage that I won't touch on, and he and I have been happy. However, his children, 38 male, 36 male, 32 female, and I have never gotten along very well, and the relationship between him and his children has been strained. This is the dynamic and not what I'm here to be judged on. He was the breadwinner of the household, and I did some part-time work, but that was about it. We've lived comfortably even after his retirement 5 years ago. My husband was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about a year ago. Unfortunately, he's been getting worse very quickly, and while I've done my best, his care is becoming too much for me to the point where I've made the difficult decision that I cannot provide what is needed. I've looked through many options, and I've decided to move him into a home with specialized care for his condition. I did tell his children, who knew of his diagnosis, about my choice, since I felt they had a right to know. Now they're furious with me, claiming it's unfair for me to do that, telling me that I wrecked their home only not to keep my marriage vows of in sickness and health to him, and saying that I've always been a gold digger, and my choice to use his money to send him away proves that. Obviously it hurt. I vented to a friend of mine who told me that she did think it was cold of me to stop caring for him as he will most likely decline more rapidly. Now I'm starting to feel bad for the choice I've made. My friend suggested that I commit to taking a class or something to learn how to care for him and agreed with his children that I signed up for this when I got with a married man. Am I the idiot for wanting to move my husband into a care home? OP, you are the idiot. It clearly looks like you are a gold digger. You had a comfortable life at his expense, and now he's sick. You want to pack him up and send him to a care home while you still continue to live your life on his money. I don't think you have children because you haven't mentioned it. So you just sat at home while doing a part-time job here and there, mooching off. You don't seem to have a love for him, and you think his children who are closer to your age should respect you because you managed to make their father leave their mother. Shame on you. I'm not here to be judged. He's 20 years older, he's rich, I don't work, everyone in his family hates me, my friends think I'm cold. I know you're holding out for the will, but you could be a good person and just get the divorce now and set your sights on someone else at the nursing home. To all the people calling OP a gold digger, it's costly to pay for long-term care for an Alzheimer's patient. It is also extraordinarily difficult for one person alone to care for someone like this at home. OP is not the idiot. She's paying out thousands and thousands of dollars to the care facility every year to make sure her husband is clean, fed, given therapy, and is monitored 24/7 to keep him safe. I wonder if the husband's adult children are upset that any potential inheritance they might have had is going towards their father's care. Also, the people who want to throw in sickness and in health in OP's face do not understand it is close to impossible for one person to monitor and provide adequate care for an Alzheimer's patient. OP made the most expensive but safest choice for her husband. I've been married to my husband for 2 years. Together we have a toddler. I have 4 kids from a previous relationship and he has 2 kids from 2 previous relationships. He works 12-hour shifts and sometimes they land on the weekend he has his 2 kids. Which leads me to my dilemma. My stepdaughter, who's a young child, has long hair. It's thick and down to her butt. It takes a good hour plus to wash, dry and style to my stepdaughter's high expectations. My husband isn't always home and I have 5, sometimes 6 other kids that I have almost full time to tend to and don't have the time to fix her hair. Often I don't even bother washing her hair and leave it braided the entire weekend because of the work. In my husband's custody papers, it says that he has to have the mother's approval to have her hair cut. My stepdaughter's mother almost every weekend is texting both me and my husband about how we aren't brushing her hair and sending her home with dirty hair that's full of tangles. We tried to explain that we make sure her hair is brushed and braided. I suggested maybe a haircut to make it more manageable, and she got mad and told me I was being lazy and this was neglect. Am I the idiot in this situation? You are the idiot. The poor kid doesn't have a choice in the hair that grows out of her head, and as a little child she probably can't manage it herself. If you're leaving it unwashed every single weekend because her hair type is thicker and takes longer to wash and style, then that's definitely an issue. Maybe look into some articles about easy hairstyles to do on long, thick hair. Why did you marry this man if you're basically struggling to take care of six, for God's sakes, dependent children solo? What made you think this could work if you're struggling with hair care? You're only an idiot to yourself for allowing this untenable situation to continue without you and your husband working as a team to make changes that make this work for you. And better still, why did you create another child together? This child most likely does not have to have her hair washed daily. Mom is probably looking for something to complain about. You are not the idiot. Most hair types do not need daily washing and can easily go 2 or 3 days without it. Invest in a wide-toothed comb so that you can put it in braids if she comes without them. It's ridiculous for her mother to expect you to spend an hour tending to a little girl's hair. Agree, OP's not the idiot because it doesn't sound like you're just letting her hair become a mess. You're still brushing it. That's not neglect. But this setup isn't feasible. You cannot possibly spend an hour on her hair when you have 6 other children to care for as well. In addition, your husband needs to work his schedule around to be there when his daughter is.